In today's video, we're going to talk about Clemson and their buck sweep. They've kind of gotten away from it. A lot of teams have gotten away from it because I believe people have gotten away from actually running power to that fullback. They'd rather go counter so they can get a bigger body on those ends. But buck sweep to me is really kind of a complementary play off of power. So if you talk about power, what we're thinking is we got down blocks right here by all of these guys, doubling to backside linebacker, gap hinge. We're pulling for number one linebacker. And this fullback is J blocking or kicking out, putting his place out his shoulder on the defensive end. Okay, and to me, the reason why people would want to run buck sweep, if I was running a power lot, I'd definitely make sure that it was a big part of our offense. And a few years back, it definitely was. People have gotten away from it. It helps to make that J block or the kick by the fullback a little bit easier. If that defensive end or outside linebacker, whoever it is you're kicking on power, if he's making it really hard, he's wrong shouldering, doing all that stuff, now you run buck sweep at him because it looks like the same block. You could have the exact same steps, and then when he comes to wrong shoulder, now you just pin him inside, and now you're running buck sweep outside. That's what we use the buck sweep for, and I think that's probably how Malzahn, Chad Morrison, those guys were running a lot of buck sweep. I think that's what they kind of had planned. But right here, we'll kind of talk about the rules of buck sweep and what they talked about, what Malzahn talks about, and all that. But real quick, we can talk about this receiver split, and you can see that's a really tight split by that receiver. I think their base rule is somewhere around 4 yards, and they usually put him on the ball. And what he's doing, he's cracking the first linebacker in the box, aiming high, so he'll be aiming at that play side shoulder, trying to pin him inside, make him go underneath because we're definitely trying to get outside with it. So that's the inside most receiver to the buck sweep side. That'd be his rule. This fullback right here, he's going to try to pin the outside shoulder of the defensive end, which in this case would be that guy right there. If he ends up being a B-gap player, he's going to continue on his track to backside linebacker. And you can see right here, Georgia Tech, they're kind of getting they're kind of getting gapped out right here. They're going to put two guys in this outside gap, but you can see he should be right there. But right here, he's B-gap to backside linebacker. He's first guard, he's pulling, and they're making it almost look like a question mark. We're looking to kick. And a lot of times you see it, those guys run a lot of motion in their buck sweep, maybe come here with tail motion, different things like that. A lot of times whenever they run that tail motion, different things, they tell those guards, hey, peek out there and see if that corner's chasing. If that corner's chasing, then it's probably going to be man-to-man. If it's man-to-man and he comes in the crack, that guy's probably going to chase. And when he chases, it's probably going to be a little bit wider, and that's going to be a pin. If that guy is not chasing on that motion, not running with him, he's probably saying, hey, it's zone coverage, so this guy's going to zone. So when he cracks, he's going to replace it, and it's going to be more like a question mark, and we're kicking right there. Okay, what we say is a center, we're going to have head up to backside. Okay, so right there we got a nose. We're head up on that nose right there. He's pulling as tight as he can to all those down blocks, getting vertical, looking for first threat right here. If you draw it all up, it's that safety or one of these safeties filling into the box. Backside tackle, we got a B gap and then hinge. Okay, so drawing it all up one more time. Cracking first inside the box, aiming high. All right, we got outside shoulder defensive end. He's B gap to backside linebacker, which backside linebacker is about to shoot right there. We're pulling the kick. He's head up to backside. He's pulling the lead. He's B gap hinge. All right, and this running back, we're stretching it right there, then getting vertical, and hopefully into that alley against zone coverage. But real quick, we'll play it and we'll look at this. So a few different looks, and we can see what takes place. You can see right there from the fullback, does a good job of getting the outside shoulder. Here's this receiver coming right there, aiming high, and we'll keep playing. And there's our guard. He's trying to get his place out shoulder to it, gets a kick. The off guard, you can see the backside guard. He doesn't quite get into the alley because the fullback lets the defensive end get into the outside gap, and he's starting to keep contained. So that backside guard's really just cleaning up. He sees opposite color jersey, he's cleaning up, trying to make the alley clear for the running back. And you can see quarterback, he's probably reading backside in since we got a big gap hinge. We got a couple guys coming off the edge. He's reading just in case. But you can see right there what they're looking for in that buck sweep. Good job by the running back getting vertical, pressing it to the sideline, then gets vertical in the first alley you can see. We'll keep looking at a few different looks. They have some interesting looks out of different formations, and we'll talk about it a little bit. Here's another example of Clemson running it against three front out of their 20 personnel set, which is kind of their base. They didn't run it a ton this year, and I don't think they ran it a ton last year either. because instead of running power a ton, they're running counter. They're trying to get those bigger bodies, like we said. But right here, we'll play it and we'll see. What I think there's something pretty interesting on here. The thing is, we miss with the play side guard. Okay, so right here, whenever you play it, that play side guard, he's getting a little bit too deep. All right, he knows that guy should be pretty tight because of the alignment of the receiver. We got to be a little bit more aware of that and try to get our inside shoulder to him so he can get a kick. But right there, he doesn't get him, so that backside guard he cleans up. So that's the beauty of it, is that you got two guards pulling. If one guy misses, hopefully that backside guy can clean it up and help out. And that other guard's just got to keep going right there. On this one, the wide receiver does a pretty good job aiming high, and he's fighting that guy. You can't really ask a receiver, to come in there and attack a middle linebacker. That's usually not a great matchup. He might slide tight end or something in there for a bigger body, but right there, I think he does a really good job of fighting, trying to sustain that block, and does a pretty good job. But you can see they missed with the first guard, backside guard cleaned it up, and they're still able to be a positive play, not explosive or anything like that, but it's just a positive play, trying to throw, if you're running that power, like we said, trying to keep those guys honest a little bit, and use their technique and stuff against them. All right, on this play, Clemson's in a tray set. Their wide receiver's a little bit too wide. Got to get him within about 4 yards of the end, so they motion him in tight to go crack right here. But we'll play real quick, and we'll see what takes place. So we motion him in pretty tight because we know he's got to go a long ways. If he's from that far, probably won't get there. His backer actually fires, okay? And you can see he ends up being a big gap player, so the play side tackle, he ends up, instead of going to backside linebacker, he's got a big gap player, so he's got to take the big gap player. So that's what he does right here. Tight end takes the spot of the fullback, and he's got a 7 technique on him, so he's down blocking. Center, he's taking the A-gap player. He's actually play side, so he's reaching him right there. It gets had across backside tackle, reaching that B gap as well. You can see there's the play side guard, number 55. He's coming to kick. Gets his play side shoulder on him, and right there is number 74 to get into the alley. This is probably the best example of what they're really looking for on buck sweep. Whenever they run it, they're able to get the edge. It wasn't perfect because they had a backer fire, but they were able to pick it up with that tackle because he was using his gaps rules, and he got on him. But right here you can really see snapping it, stretching it, kick right there by the play side guard, backside guard leading in, trying to get a hand on him, and creating explosive plays by creating an alley for the running back. All right, here's a little bit different look. They're in trips close, and they flip their tight end over and get him into the fullback spot. And we can still go through our rules. Right here, tackles B gap to backside linebacker. Right here in this play, I believe he ends up being a big gap player, and you can see it right here as we get started. He's a big gap player, so he washes him down. So the fullback, he's going to number 2 linebacker in the box, which right here with this overload set, they rolled a safety down and got a couple extra guys in the box. But you can see right there, B gap. So now he's going to number 2 back in the box. This receiver, again, he's blocking first linebacker in the box, and that's the guy right there. So we should be able to get those guys taken care of. This puller, he's coming, he's going to try to question mark kick that guy. He's scraping tight, getting vertical, trying to lead. But we'll continue playing it, see what happens. Wide receiver gets knocked off a little bit. We definitely don't want to give up penetration. Right there you can see what that penetration did. That linebacker fired pretty quickly, and the receiver wasn't really able to keep him from getting penetration. It knocked off that backside guard just a little bit, but it kind of helped because the backside guard got the pursuit. It looked like it was going to be able to get there. But you can see they were able to overload it and get numbers over there and get the edge. And even though it wasn't perfectly executed, they're able to get that big guard over there and get on top of that outside linebacker. And he actually gets him pinned, so they're able to get outside. And right here you can see it ends up being a big play for Clemson. Again, not perfectly blocked, but again, they got their big guys in space and running, and they got everything moving in the right direction. They got some guys sealed, and they were able to get outside. So is not perfect, but again, explosive play for Clemson. Here's the same look from Clemson that we just saw. Still down blocking right there. You can see the fullback on that defensive end. He kind of gets shocked. His base isn't quite there. Whenever he makes contact, he narrows his base and he gets off balance, and that knocks off the backside guard as well. But you can see again the exact same stuff. This time, I don't think Georgia Tech was able to roll down their safety, so they have really good numbers. And you can see what takes place right here. They're able to get the edge. You see that guard getting out there. He doesn't even really get on the guy, but just his presence out there slows him down and gives him an option to make a cut off of him. Again, still not perfect, but that's why buck sweep is really good. You got a bunch of guys moving, it creates space.